Hello again, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your currency recap. This is Ankit, and let's begin a market coverage. It's a Wednesday, September the 6th, already halfway through the week in this holiday shortened week. So let's get into today's market recap. We'll be taking a look at what happened in the markets, taking a look at our broad market analysis, looking at our currency baskets, and talk about what's the best currency setups for the upcoming 24 hours. So let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So looking at the market analysis today, let's just start with where we were at last night. When we did our yesterday's recap, this is the velocity score. The dollar was really strong, followed by the CAD. The pound was as a +1, and a lot of the other currencies were kind of right in the middle, and Aussie being weak. So let's get into today's market recap and see what really changed and how did the market sort of progress. Starting with the news of the day, market continues to weaken. So we are back-to-back weakness in the markets and bringing our score from a +2 down to a 0. Bond yields continue to rise and the US dollar remains firm. So pretty much no sort of change to the market narrative. Everything kind of remains the same. Now, looking at our market performance today, let's just start with the currency baskets. As you can see, the biggest performer today was the British pound. So British pound, again, going a lot of back and forth movement. It's not a trending currency, but down the most today. Outside of that, you can see that today was not a good sort of a percentage change a trading day. And this is again to say after yesterday's big move in some of the dollar crosses, where we are seeing some consolidation today. So that's expected again after we see a big move. We can get into some consolidation phases, and that's exactly what we were expecting last night, is some consolidation in some of the dollar crosses. Now let's take a look at broader markets. So S&P down 0.74, the world stock index is down as well. Again, bond is up, US oil was up again 1%. Crypto again down and gold down as well. So again, strong bonds and dollar is weighing down on the gold market. But oil, on the other hand, is continuing to rise here. So pretty much oil is more like an inflationary play. And right now, that's again supported by what the bond market's doing and the equity market's sort of showing weakness. Now, let's take a look at the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. We are seeing not a whole lot going on, a lot of consolidation. Remember, we had a massive drop in the crypto markets just a few weeks, 3 weeks ago. So we are just seeing a lot of consolidation since then. Now let's take a look at a market score. And market score has changed. Remember, we were casting some of the doubts in the markets, especially as we are sitting at +2. But we said we didn't seem like the market wants to go higher, or there's a little bit more risk there. You can see that market has now gone back down to this range where the moving averages are crisscrossing. So that brings that score down to a 0. So it will be interesting to see where the market goes. Right now, it looks unclear to me. The next couple of weeks are important as we get US CPI numbers and the FOMC. Hopefully that will clear out some of these levels, but something to be really on guard for to see where's the next big move. Now, let's take a look at the schedule. We had our Bank of Canada rate statement out of the way. They didn't change rates. Again, they were not expecting to raise rates, but the statement was a little bit more hawkish. So it was a hawkish hold instead of being a dovish hold. So CAD overall strengthened after that. And again, we'll take a look at Canadian dollar going into overnight session. The US ISM number came out surprisingly stronger than expected. Again, that helped the dollar to go higher and helped the bond yields to go higher. And that number really put some pressure on the equity market as well. So remember, it's important to pay attention to these US numbers because that's really causing a lot of movements in the markets. Tomorrow, we just have the unemployment claims. And then on Friday, we have the Canadian numbers. So not a whole lot of US data. We'll see where the momentum goes. Market certainly looks interesting here. So let's do our currency analysis and find out where the velocity scores are. And right now, velocity score stays at +2 for CAD and the dollar. and pound kind of looks weak. So we'll be looking at pound dollar along with some pound Canadian dollar as well. So other currencies are right in the middle, but that doesn't mean they are any way, shape, or form strong. Again, Aussie was down to -2, is now at 0. So they're just having some relief rally after having some big fall. But right now, what we are seeing is consolidation. That's why when we see consolidation, velocity scores sort of compress here. We need bigger velocity score to capture a big move in the markets. So let's get into trading view. Let's take a look at some of the possible trade setup that we can find in the markets here.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So let's just start with the dollar as usual. Dollar is on its 6th consecutive run to the upside. Again, a spectacular run in the dollar. So here's what's happening in the dollar today. Dollar just went sideways. That doesn't mean it's ready to roll over. It's just going sideways. This is, again, be very careful shorting the dollar here because it is finding moments where it looks weak and then it just finds some strength. So right now, consolidation phase. I must say that looking at the bond markets, look at the bond markets doing this exact same thing. They're consolidating as well. So if you are trying to figure out what the dollar is going to do, pay attention to what the bond market is doing because there's a nice correlation between those two. Now, looking at the markets, let's see where they ended today because that really will set up the tone for markets. So we had a rally in the second half of the day. So we still end up lower, but we did end up off the lows here. So in the next 24 hours, it could be a mild bearish, not a whole lot. Now let's go into some of the setups. We talk about pound. Let's see what the pound is doing. On a daily chart, you can see pound is consolidating. It has a couple of updates with a couple of down days. Not a trending currency. So if we're trying to figure out what's going to be happening with the pound, we have this big range that we're dealing with. So if we can break this support on a currency basket, I like this further to the downside. But if it just stays within this range, I don't have no desire to be trading this range, but usually take a look at where the breakout is going to happen. So even though the pound is a little bit on the weak side, I will be using a mild bearishness on the British pound. Now, if you take a look at other currencies, they're kind of consolidating as well. Not a whole lot of movement. So Canadian dollar, that's the one that we just talked about that looks like it wants to go higher. So here's a good level of resistance that we need to clear before we can sort of march higher. So today's price action looked a little promising. We did pull back, made a little higher low, and it looks like it wants to go higher, but it's not broken out yet. This is still in this range here. We need a confirmation that it's breaking out in order to jump on the rally. So if you are wanting to go long the CAD, pay attention to the Canadian dollar basket. If we can get above this level and break out, I think we can get a nice breakout among all the Canadian dollar crosses. Let's take a look at what the other currency is doing. Aussie, after a big fall on a Monday or Tuesday, this thing is just in a bear rally formation. So it's not ready to be bought or sold. The Kiwi, it looks relatively weak, but I've talked about it in the longer term chart. They are just in this bear rally formation. This is not a time to really pick a top or a bottom. I mean, this is where you need to be sort of careful on the entry. We want to get in if it confirms on a breakdown. But right now, I don't want to play this range either because it doesn't look like it wants to bounce here either. So unless the market sentiment improves, you got to be careful about the Aussie and the Kiwi. CAD looks like the best here. The pound is kind of right in the middle. So let's take a look at some of the pound crosses. So pound dollar goes on the top of the list. So here we are, pound dollar is sort of rolling. We have the dropping exponential EMA. You can see it is trending lower. So I like this a little further to the downside. So what's the level that we can find this as a next level of support? So it is quickly approaching the support area. So you can see where it broke out. This is the area that it broke out and it's getting right towards it. If we can break below this area, which is about right below that 25 area, 24.85, about 20 pips down from where we are, I think we can find a nice little breakdown here. But right now, at this point, it's likely to sort of find a support or have some sort of bear rally. So this is again goes down into the European session where we're likely to have a bigger move. And now let's take a look at the pound CAD, because pound CAD perhaps is ready to roll over. So if you take a look at this chart it broke the support. I think it wants to, this looks like it wants to go lower here down to 169 area. So I like the one that's a little bit better. As you can see, this is showing you more weakness than it is the pound dollar. So which is again telling you the CAD is showing better strength than the CAD than the US dollar. Let's see, look at the dollar CAD. Well, dollar CAD is pulling back as well. So again, it's sort of this is where we are seeing the CAD is showing relative strength, and perhaps those are the areas that we want to continue looking overnight. We can also take a look at something like Euro CAD. Again, similar setup, but I like the pound CAD better. Let's take a look at Aussie CAD. This is again going sideways. I don't really love the Aussie or the Kiwi short because they are not breaking lower in the currency basket. But if you are looking for a break in the Kiwi, I think the Kiwi CAD is looking beautiful here, right at the support. It's about 80 is where the level of support is. If it breaks lower, it has further room to fall. So this is again the best looking setup here. It's just a matter of the timing of your trade. If I go on a 4-hour chart, we can see we have rallied multiple times off this level. So we don't want to be shorting something right at the support where it could, easily sort of bounce from here. So if you're looking for an entry, I think maybe look at a 4-hour chart. It looks a little bit more clear to me. So this might take a little while to develop. So again, that's what we are seeing in the markets. Remember, we don't want to be pushing trades when it's not there. I'm still a little bit unclear on where the market wants to go. It's pretty clear where the bond markets are going, where the dollar is going, but we really have to see where the next big movement is because dollar has been strengthening for weeks, and so is the bond market. So one or the other will give up, and based on that, we'll probably get a big move in the currency market in the upcoming few days here. So focus on momentum. That's the one thing we'll be looking at. It doesn't matter what currency pair you're trading. Make sure you're following that momentum. The momentum can last for 24 hours. It could last for a lot longer. Based on what we are seeing right now, the momentum is just there in the dollar. But outside of that, the momentum can be sort of back and forth. So if the momentum is not there, move on to another currency. We don't want to be stuck with that direction, but we also want to be following momentum to make sure our timing is correct on that trade. And make sure you're following relative strength and weakness. Very important. Stick to your trading plan. Stick with what's moving. And happy trading. Take care, everyone. Cheers.